100% sure I like it. But for now, I think I'll put it on. Don't know if you can see it, I've got a couple of volunteer plants in my garden. I'll show you them a bit better in a minute. Okay. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So, okay, it took me a little bit longer than I wanted, but garden pretty much reset. I still have to just finish putting pots down the back there, but because we've had so much hot days, I've had them up on the veranda. Purely because I just couldn't give them enough water to sustain the heat of the day while I was at work, being that they're in pots and bags, and I knew that they would suffer from the heat, so I had them up. They're still getting actual sun up there, but it's just a little bit reduced. It's not quite so intense. So okay, going to finish pulling off the rest of the plants over there. It's meant to be a lot cooler for the next week or so, and then it's meant to pick up again, but I'm actually home. I've actually got a little bit of holiday, so it doesn't matter that they're in the heat during this time, because I'll be here to give them water throughout, like as in enough water for both morning and afternoon to keep them going. Alright, well, I hope you liked this video. Thank you very much for joining me today. A little bit less chatty, a little bit more work, but I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for staying and sharing my morning with me. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Please feel free to subscribe. I am going to be more active again. I have slacked off, I am very sorry, but I will be more active, and I am going to try and put some more shorts in there so that when days I can't get a proper video out, I can at least get some shorts out to keep you all in the know of what's going on here. Again, I do rent this place, so I am limited to having an in-ground garden or having proper raised beds. The bath is something that I will be able to take with me and know that I'm not losing my soil when I leave, whereas raised gardens, generally, because there's no bottom on them, I'm a little bit hesitant, and the landlord's a bit funny about what I can and can't do. This used to be a garden bed, which is why I'm allowed to cover it up, so that's why I have the cardboard down. One, to stop the weeds and the grass, because it's pretty vigorous grass here, but to stop that so that when I do leave I can turn it back into a garden bed. And I've actually got, didn't have any plants in it when I moved in, and it was an overgrown garden bed, but I'm putting the cardboard boxes, the pallets, and then I'm going to fill all in between there with mulch, so that when I do leave, I've got some jade bushes that I've been propagating and some other plants that I've propagated from the hedge and things like that around. So when we do move from here, I'll be able to just plant those plants straight in, and I've left it as a garden bed and I've not destroyed the yard. But anyone else who wants to get into a farm, but you know, at the moment is maybe renting or can't afford to do so, this is how you can start by going about it. So my sage plants, I have done a bit of a chat on them before, but this isn't even all of my sage, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here, and I've got more up there. I love sage, but I also like to dry it and burn it in my house. I like the smell of it, and it's a natural way to fragrance your house without using chemicals. So that's that. I also use it in tinctures and as well as my cooking, obviously. So what I did was I started off with just a tray of, it was 10 seed, well it said 6, but there was actually 10 in it. I deliberately made sure I picked up a big bundle, and from that I've just been growing them. As you can see, these ones here, they suffered a little bit purely because my cat kept laying in the pots that they were in. So I've put them into smaller pots again, just to give them a bit more of a boost, and I'll put them back in a bigger pot once they are big enough, like these ones where she won't be able to actually get in and sit on top of them. But realistically, it's been 3 months and look how big they are, from seedlings that were, you know, 5 centimetres, 2 inches, 2-3 inches. So I'm just progressively building them up and up and up, and then I'm going to keep potting them up into bigger pots. My turmeric, which I've got there, and I've got some ginger as well. That's turmeric, those 3 there, but I do have ginger as well, and that's up on the veranda still. I haven't brought that back down, but that's purely just, I went to Coles and I've, you know, they had it on sale for like 50 cents a kilo because it was starting to sprout, and they knew that. So I just went in and bought a whole heap. I think I bought about $5-6 worth of the turmeric because there was more of that, and I gave some to friends as well. And then I think I bought like $2 or $3 of the ginger because that's all they had left. So that was all that was left of the ginger, but I've got, you know, the plants. But I just keep an eye out whenever I go to the grocery store. I look for when they have it on sale and they've got, you know, bits of ginger with that's starting to grow, starting to sprout, and then I buy that and I do it. So you can do all this on a budget, and you can do it cheap, and you can do it like me when you're renting, and you've got to know that you can take it with you when you move. So feel free to rent a house a little bit further out of town. Sometimes, depending on the area and where you are, but sometimes it's actually cheaper to rent out of town than it is in town. Yes, you do then have the added cost of extra fuel, so you do have to think about that. But if you can rent a farmhouse and start your farm now, why not? Okay, you've got the opportunity to then do it. There are some places around too where the small schools are struggling to stay open, and they actually, well, here in Australia, they have a thing, they used to have a thing called Rent-A-Farm, and that was a way of getting people from the city into the country. COVID's kind of, you know, meant that a lot more people have moved out, but check those things out in your area. And if you're from another state, so I'm in New South Wales, but if you're in another state of Australia or another country, and there is something that you have in your area that would do that to help people be able to get into this lifestyle, tag it down, leave a comment, say where you are, say where you're from, and what it is that you do in a rented house or in a smaller house, you know, even if it's your own home and you're in the suburbs. Leave a comment down below of what you do to get you to where you want to be in 5 years' time. Okay, so I'm a big fan, as I'm sure many of you already know, of Jessica and Jeremiah Sowards. They are Roots and Refuge. If you haven't heard of them, go check out their page. They are amazing. They bought their first farmhouse from as a foreclosure, and it was a small property, very rocky, you know, so they couldn't have the big farm that they wanted, so they started small and then worked their way up to where they are now, which is 27 acres. And they've got cows and everything now, but they've had goats, cows, horses, chickens, pigs, you name it, they've got it, they've done it. Learn from them. And then another page that I like is Becky from Acre Homestead. Her and her husband, Josh, same thing. They bought a small house, they completely gutted it, renovated it, bought a bigger house, did some work to that. That's where they started their 1 acre farm homestead. And then they've just recently bought, just at the end of last year, they bought another house, and they're slowly getting into the thing of making that a bigger, better garden than what they had before. But start small. You've got to start somewhere. And while you're, you know, renting or while you're in the city, start this and do your learning now so that it's ready when you do move in. Alright, anyway, I've talked a lot, so I'll let you all go. But like I said, leave comments below, share with your friends. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.